hey, why aren't you dating? What's wrong with you? And does the world ever make you feel like, what's wrong with me? Or
Oh yeah. Of course, like it's in social media, it's definitely glorified. Hot take though, but even in Christianity, it's like there's like an idol of where's my mate, where's my spouse? Like, and that's a good thing. Like it's a good desire to have in your heart. When does it cross the boundary of it becoming your personality?
Sure.
And not you first pursuing the Lord first and foremost.
The man that you marry is going to influence not just your house, but the way that these kids, the children, approach the Lord.
Exactly.
We're not just being flippant. Like,
Right.
although the world wants us to just hook up with anybody,
Right.
it's like, do you not understand the nature of what that costs? I see a lot of guys that are afraid or hesitant to pursue, and so they're not taking the right steps or maybe even initiating a conversation. What would be your advice to young men on how to navigate that? Hey guys, welcome back to the Abide interview series, or whatever we're calling this thing. It's gonna be awesome. Kind of mixing it up this week. We've got the last couple weeks we've done guys that are 25 or so that are crushing life, that love Jesus. And this time we're gonna twist it and say, let's get that same demographic with a young lady who loves Jesus, pursuing him, and get her opinion on where life is, what kind of red flags we have. So without much further ado, we're gonna introduce Tiffany.
Hello.
So Tiffany is awesome, and I would have pronounced your last name, but I would have butchered it.
It's
And it's
okay.
gonna be somewhere on this lower screen. So Tiffany O, and I'm Michael O. Let's get, we're practically family at that point, right?
Uncle Michael.
Yeah. So let's talk. Let's catch up on your journey so far. Tell me about you. You don't have to tell me how old you are, but it's helpful for these guys, right? They're like, how do I land somebody like Tiffany, or how do I push somebody like Tiffany away? We're gonna get into all of it, right?
Of course.
So you're in Colorado now. How did you come here?
Yeah, so my name's Tiffany. I'm 26. Got to Colorado all the way from Texas. I know it's quite a bit of ways away, but originally I came out to Colorado to attend a Bible college, and kind of my spiritual journey started when I was young, was introduced to God through the Episcopalian sect of Christianity.
yeah.
Which one thing I love about our Catholic brothers and sisters, they have a reverence for God, but even at a young age, I literally remember sitting in the swing set of the church, and I was just like, this isn't it. I don't know how I got that revelation at such a young age, but I knew the way that we were approaching God in that way wasn't the right way to do that. So then fast forward, my stepdad comes into my life and really takes on the role of fathering me, and then also showing me truly God's nature. And out of everything that we can know about Christ, like his love for us, our identity in him, for me, anything that talks about God's nature, that makes my heart come alive. And
Sure.
him first being my father that I needed, and then my stepdad coming to my life, man, it just did a number on me. And then my stepdad was giving me all these teachings, these books to read, and then we ended up coming to Colorado to attend a Bible college, got plugged in there, got discipled, and
Yeah.
the rest is history. So yeah.
So you know the importance of a man's
Oh, of
role in a
course.
family,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Both the lack of it and the presence of it, and how that shapes young women, and how it could impact the trajectory of a young person's life.
You're right.
So I imagine when you're looking for a spouse, right? Because ultimately we look for a spouse knowing that, or assuming that we're going to have kids.
Right.
And how is this person going to be as a father? Not just as a husband, but as a father or as a mother.
Right.
Those are questions we have to ask ourselves before we get married, right?
Absolutely.
So, and this isn't necessarily a clarification, but one that is important to discuss a little bit more. When you said, this isn't it, this isn't the way, like, what do you think was missing about that?
I think I can speak for just my own personal experience in that denomination, but it was the same routine as far as Episcopalian. I don't know what other
Sure,
sects do,
yeah.
but we would go to church, we would sing our hymnals, go to the altar, receive communion, well, first confess our sins, and then take communion. And the same thing Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, but I wasn't changing.
Sure.
There was no transformation happening inside of me.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, it's not God, so something's wrong with me, or something's wrong with this, or it's both.
Sure.
So there just wasn't any change, any transformation happening, and it didn't make any sense. So yeah, just that.
Sure. Yeah, I know, every time my mom divorced and remarried, we'd start going to different churches. And one of the things that I found was that a lot of the different denominations have both the variety in the way that they approach the Lord or approach God. And then, man, there are people that love the Lord genuinely in every denomination that I've ever been a part of, right? And it is interesting, though, how different denominations highlight different aspects of God. Some are like, this is God, he dwells in unapproachable light. And so, like, avert your eyes. And then others are like, hey, snuggle up to daddy, right? Because he's right here. And it's incredible how different the denominations can be in that. It's something that we long to know. What is the base level of core Christianity that we can all agree on? And it's a discussion for another time. But it's one of those things also going back that your father or your husband will impact the way that you see the Lord, right? Especially a father. Absolutely. And so knowing that you're going to have children, it's like the man that I marry, to be clear, not the man that I marry, but as a woman, not as, you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying,
right? Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like the man that you marry is going to influence not just your house, but the way that these kids, the children, approach the Lord.
Exactly.
So we're not just being flippant. Like, although the world wants us to just hook up with anybody, it's like, do you not understand the nature of what that costs? So that's been interesting. Like, what over your time, I don't know what your dating history has been like, but tell us about your dating history. Like,
there isn't
which is okay. Like, which is probably even better.
Honestly, there's never been anyone. I don't know why I feel so embarrassed. But in a way, I'm just like, I've given this to the Lord, and I'm just trusting him that he will bring the right person at the right time. And I've even just asked the Lord, in the meantime, what can I do to prepare? And I feel like late last year especially, and this year, the Lord's just been so good. He's brought great people into my life, great friendships into my life, and just like great materials, like books I'm reading right now, things I want to do, and like habits I want to get better in, just to prepare and be the woman that I know God sees me as. So
there's a lot of pressure when you're 20s. When
There's
you're a woman,
clock.
like, hey, why aren't you dating? What's wrong with you? And right, do you ever feel that? Like, does the world ever make you feel like, what's wrong with me? Or
it's, of course, like, it's in social media, it's definitely glorified. Hot take though, but even in Christianity, it's like, I don't know how to put this into words, but it's like there's like an idol of, where's my mate, where's my spouse? Like, and that's a good thing. Like, it's a good desire to have in your heart, but when does it cross the boundary of it becoming your personality? And not like you first pursuing the Lord first and foremost. So hot take, I don't know, but that's just
it's true, right?
Thought,
that desire for an idol or for a spouse can become an idol, to where you're approaching God and all of your questions, all of your thoughts are based around, like, whether you take a job or not, you're thinking, well, is this going to lead me closer to my spouse or further away? Or whether you go on the mission field, you're like, is this going to lead me? Anytime you're basing your decision on something else, whether that's money or potential mate or anything else, that thing is an idol in your life. And you have to be willing to say, no, I'm going to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. So I think that's wisdom. That's 2,000 years old plus, and it needs to be brought back to say, trust that the Lord loves you and that he has a plan for you. And if you pursue him, don't worry, the blessing of God will overtake you. So I think that's it's unfortunate that there's that pressure though in the Christian realm. I know there are people in the world that they keep getting married later and later, right? They're just like, I want to have my career. I want to have my fun. I want to do all these things, and I'll get married sometime down the future. Like, have you seen a trend with your friends or with people that you know of more delaying that and then or cohabitating in the meantime?
Luckily, like not with the friends that I have, like
Yeah.
not living together before married or anything. It's interesting. I would say I do know people who are not yet married and they're later in life, and then there's people who like get out of college and boom, they're married
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So it's interesting, those two. So that's basically what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Now, I mean, it'd be easy to settle, right? You could go on Tinder or whatever. I don't know
Yeah.
what apps people use nowadays, but you could go on an app and
Yeah.
find somebody to connect with. But what are your thoughts on dating apps?
I mean, I've heard stories of people find their spouse and it
Yeah.
works out great. And I've heard, of course, like the horror stories that they put on the news of
Yeah.
it not, and it's like a murder or something. But
Yeah. There was just one here in Colorado Springs. Some guy hooked up with a gal on Tinder, and like she tied him up with duct tape. Started cutting him.
That's
guy
not funny, but
yeah, I know. It's
oh my
crazy,
gosh.
right? Like, so not all wholesome,
Yeah,
like
no.
happily ever marriage has come out of there. But yeah, to that point,
Yeah.
just happened here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess in my heart, I've purposed that I'm going to trust that not only does the Lord have the person he has for me, but he also has the way that we're supposed to meet.
Yeah,
So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
sure. Are there any scriptures or stories in the Bible that are especially encouraging to you along those lines?
Well, I would say it's like the verse everyone knows, Jeremiah 29:11, but I saw it recently in a different way. Of course, we know the plans that the Lord has for us, plans to prosper us, not to harm us, all that good stuff. But as I was reading that recently, like the Lord just like whispered into my heart, I have good intentions for you. Like this verse is not only that I have good plans for you, but my intentions for you will always be good. So you don't have to question anytime I ask you to go a certain way or to talk to someone or to do something, because my intentions for you are always good. They're not
Yeah.
going to leave you in the dark or trying to trick you in any way.
Yeah.
They're always for you. So that's just something that the Lord has highlighted to me. And with that just in mind, it's kind of taken off the hesitancy, I would say, to like hang out with friends,
Yeah.
like go somewhere new or try something different. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I know there's been trends. I've been around Christianity for a long time now, and you see these trends of like, I kiss dating goodbye, we're not going to date. And then there's trends of like, hey, we're just going to be in groups, or hey, I'm going to date as many people as possible. What do you see right now as far as, at least in where you're at? What's the push? Is it to not date and just God's going to bring you just the right one at the right time? Or is it, hey, get out there, date, and, sort them out as they come through, get as many suitors as possible? What's the word?
Let me think. We're gonna pause for a second because I'm so like out of it. Charlie, do you know? Like what
No,
are
that's
the?
what.
I do
Don't
not
pause
know.
it. You don't get a chance to pause it. This is.
I'm
don't
like
pause
so
this.
Not in.
That's
I
what.
feel
It's
like
good. I prefer for you not like if you're not in it. That's okay.
Oh my gosh! I feel like Charlie, do you know?
No, you can't. You can't bring in a lifeline over here.
Okay.
The
Okay, fine.
no. Like
I don't know. Like
if the answer is you don't know,
Yeah, I
then
don't
that's
know.
the answer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you feel like the Lord is doing for you? Is he saying, hey, I'm going to bring the one to you? Or is he saying, hey, at least get plugged in places so that you have, like there are people, let's turn it to money, right? There are people who are like, I'm just going to sit at home and I'm going to pray that the Lord pays my bills.
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
there's going to be checks that show up in the mail and I'm just going to stay at home, and that's faith, right? To me, it's similar with finding a mate. Like you can't just stay at home
Right,
and
yeah.
pray that, well, maybe you can. Pray that the mailman knocks on your door and you lock eyes and that's the one all of a sudden,
Well,
like
yeah.
special delivery. I'm sure it's a Hallmark movie somewhere, right?
Probably.
But like, I don't feel that that's the thing. Like, I feel like that you should be plugged in at a church or you should be plugged into
Right.
a community somewhere. Like, what are your thoughts though?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm of the same mindset. It's funny, like, don't be a woman like staying in her living room just twiddling her thumbs and then someone knocks. I agree to that nature. For me, I know that I'm definitely getting more and more plugged into just different things, and that in partnership with me also preparing my heart at the same time, and just my character, who I am. So, I mean, I feel like those two together, I feel like the Lord's just definitely gonna use that to bring me to whoever. Yeah.
No, I agree. And now let's say that you're out, right? And I don't want to push too hard on that because you don't know. You're like, hey, I need help. I'm gonna call my friend. But in today, I've seen, because I disciple young men, not young women, right? And so I see a lot of guys that are afraid to or hesitant to pursue, and so they're not like taking the right steps or maybe even initiating a conversation, or they do it like super awkwardly, right? To where a woman doesn't even know, like, are you asking me a question or not?
Right.
So how are you seeing that? Like, are guys less interested in pursuing, or maybe they don't need to pursue as much, or like, what's the deal?
Gosh, I feel like I see it in for me. It could be different for any other woman out there, but it's like the extremes where you could have one male who's just very bold, is a nice way of saying it, to just go up to a woman and just talk to them and just be so forward, or it's completely shut down. I'm not going to even try or anything. I personally hate like the Me Too movement and like the feminist movement, and I feel like that's just put a dampen on men to pursue, because it's men are the pursuers. So I feel like maybe that has over time and over the years lowered the opportunity for men to do that, because it could turn into, oh, she said this, she did, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's been some pretty important things that come out of a Me Too movement, right? Where it's hey, women's voices should be taken seriously, but like anything else in society, it gets blown up and to where now anybody can accuse anybody, and we have to take that at face value without actually digging in, right? There's no innocent until proven guilty at that point, and you could just ruin somebody's life. And so, I could imagine that men are much more hesitant, right? To even, like, I know for me, I've got to be super protective of myself, because anybody could make an accusation. And the cost to me is ministry and family and business. That's not fun.
Right. Yeah.
So, I would imagine that it does put some fear into men. What would be your advice to young men on how to navigate that?
Yeah, I feel like one, just being in group outings builds social skills. Of how to
It's important, right?
Like being involved in a church, like going out, like being a part of a friend group, just naturally builds social skills. And you're able to like gauge, okay, how does this person receive? How do they like to be talked to? How do they like to be treated? And then it never hurts to compliment. It never hurts, even if it's just a friendly compliment. It never hurts, and it blesses them. And if it's someone you're interested in, compliment them, show them intentionally show them that you're interested. So,
Now, compliments come in all shapes and sizes, right? They're like, they could be awkward, but I think it's always nice to compliment something that, sure, you could always compliment a physical aspect of somebody, but it's also nice to just pay attention to the person and say, hey, I really love the way that you interacted with this person. Because that's a choice that you get a chance to make, and I'm complimenting you as an individual versus like...
That's really good. No, I like that point too. And even like friend to friend, like if it's just pure friendship too, we're all different. We all have that thing that makes us us. And when you can see that in another person and highlight that and let them know, like, this quality about you is awesome. I like when you do this, or I like when you do that. It brings about a spark in them. And like, they feel in line like, oh my goodness, thank you for saying that. So just a unique compliment too.
I think that's wise to be able to actually pay attention to the individual, right? Anybody can notice if somebody's beautiful. They have, like, I've got daughters with different color eyes, and their eyes are they pop in certain things, and I love it. But like my daughters don't have much control over the color of their eyes, right?
Right.
But they do have control over how kind they are, or how considerate they are, or how gentle they are, or do you know? And those are the
Exactly.
things that,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree though that a compliment. There was somebody that said something to me the other day, and I was like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
And it was like, I really like the way you said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. Because it was something that wasn't like physical. It was like, it had to do with me as the individual.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I think that's really wise. And so it also takes a little bit more thought on the individual's
Yep.
perspective
Yeah.
there. But one of the things that I wrestle with guys all the time is the insidiousness of pornography in the culture of these guys, right? And so I think that there's a lot of music that guys listen to, or that people listen to, that's pornographic. I've listened to some songs, and like they're just,
Yeah.
it's brutal to
Yeah.
listen to. Like, if I were to read the lyrics out loud, I would get censored. Do you know?
Yeah.
But if you put a beat behind it, all of a sudden it becomes just
Music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is cool. But it's warping guys' minds to see women a certain way. Same thing with how much more pornography. And so, I think that there's also that aspect that when guys are submitted to this, it gives them an awkwardness because now they're approaching women as an object instead of as an individual. And I don't know that there's a question in that. It's more of a frustration on my end, because a guy, it pollutes the way that they approach a young woman, right?
Yeah.
Because their heart knows, hey, this is a daughter of God, but their soul has been twisted to see her as an object,
Right.
and it creates this hesitancy from my experience, which is incredibly
Yeah.
sad, right?
No, yeah, I completely agree, and I hate it. I have so many thoughts, but I wish I could articulate them. But
Yeah.
no, I completely agree, and I can definitely see though when a man has purpose in his heart not to even look at a woman a certain way.
Yeah.
You know that's a valuable man, because
Yeah.
it is so easy and it is so accessible. And every phone has private browser where
Sure.
you can't be tracked. But then
Well, don't give anybody any ideas. You know what I mean? Like, you could be tracked, all right?
But again, that's just the enemy making it so easy
Yeah.
for porn to be accessed. But for a man to purpose in his heart to not to do that
Yeah.
and to hold himself to a higher standard, that is valuable. That is
Yeah.
definitely a valuable man.
So tell me about that. Like, can you feel the heart of a person when you're interacting? Do you feel like you
yeah,
can?
you can definitely. I feel
Yeah.
like it's easier for women too, especially if you're a Christian woman and like you just sense the Lord's heart first and foremost. You can definitely tell when a man is not. I don't want to say this, like not honest, especially in this area. Like how they carry themselves, like lack of eye contact is like a
Yeah.
like
Right.
a tall tale sign,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah,
how
they're
they-
just looking everywhere
Right,
else,
yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just how they even look at other women too.
Yeah.
It's just giveaways. So
Something that I don't think that men understand, that, hey, you can't consume this all day and think it's like you can't roll in manure all day and not stink when you
Exactly.
walk around. Someone's going to smell it.
right.
And that the scripture says that our lives are a sweet smelling savor to the Lord.
Yeah.
How much does that change when we're rolling in the manure of this world? Women can smell it. They could pick it up. Other people can. And it's just unfortunate, right? Because you can be all put together, but if young guys wonder why they're not being taken seriously, that's probably part of it.
Right. Of course. And thank God for God's grace that
Oh, yeah.
there is an opportunity for you to step into who God has called you to be. And I was just talking to a friend earlier, but one of my favorite characters in the Bible is Joseph. Just first just Joseph, Old
Yeah,
Testament
right,
Joseph.
right,
But just his just his life's journey is so inspiring, but then also you can see his character first and foremost. You can tell like he purposed in his heart that he's not going to play around like with his integrity or his purity, because like the first response to Potiphar's wife when she was making these advances on him was, I'm not like, Potiphar has given me everything, access to his house, except for you. You're his wife.
Yeah.
And the first response wasn't, Potiphar's going to catch me. The first response was, how could I sin against God? So it's like he already purposed in his heart that I'm not going to go against God in this area. So I just love that he made that decision before he was even in that situation.
Yeah. So, I mean, think about it from in our society. If you'd been sold into slavery, you think God has done you wrong. You're just a servant to somebody else at this point. How much do you think today's society is saying, no, you're justified in doing this? Like, you're not sinning against God. God sinned against you. And we're so quick to take offense to God's plan. Like, we don't trust his intention for us, like you were saying earlier. And so we take, our minds are set to say, no, I deserve this because look at how much bad has come to me. I can do this. And so it's interesting how Joseph in this, even despite the suffering, despite the injustice that's been perpetrated against him, he still holds his honor in his relationship with God. So in such high esteem, he's like, no, I'm not going to sin against God this way. It's wild.
Exactly. And what's so cool and just shows the kindness of God is like when Joseph was like on the block to be sold, stripped naked, the Lord told him like, you're a prosperous man. Just told all these things to his heart. So I could imagine like that just encouraged him even in these situations that he found himself in.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I know what guys are going to want to know. They're like, what are the red flags when it comes down to, hey, don't blow up my comment section asking for Tiffany's phone number, okay? But like, what are the red flags that are going to that would just 100% shut a guy down if they approached you?
Yeah.
Or after date one,
Absolutely. I feel like, gosh, it's literally everything. It's the opposite of Joseph. So just do everything opposite of him, and those are all the red flags.
Yeah.
Like first and foremost, like as we were talking about earlier, pornography just being such a problem, but integrity and just purity. What like guards have you put in your heart, even physically, like on your laptop, just like more practical things, spiritually and practical. What have you put up to just guard your purity or your integrity against just the enemy trying to get in? That's definitely something. So if there are any, that's a major red flag. Yeah. So.
Sure. So like, I'd say if I was evaluating the life of Joseph, I would say, all right, so Joseph had his relationship with God secure. He's like, all right, even in Potiphar's house, I know God is with me. So relationship with God is a green, do we call them green flags? I don't know what we call them.
Flag.
But obviously not having that relationship
is a major
step
red
one,
flag.
Guy's not going to get pursued, right?
Yeah.
Would you
need a relationship with the Lord, and if you don't have one, that is a red flag.
Yeah.
Because what's guiding your heart, what's guiding your life?
What keeps them being honest with you? What obligation do they have to be honest if they don't have the Lord ultimately, right?
Exactly.
Now, would you missionary date?
Absolutely not.
No? Guy doesn't have any chance.
No. If you're not,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. First, because it's not biblical. I'm not supposed to.
Sure.
And God has good intentions on why.
Yeah.
It's nope. Sorry. Absolutely not. That's a red flag.
So if you want a shot, get saved before this is over. You know, looking more into Joseph's life, one of the things that strikes me is he's not a complainer. Do you know?
I never actually saw that.
Right? Wow. So he's got all this, he's a dreamer, but he's not a complainer. Wow. And I would say if a guy's a complainer, would that be a red flag to you?
That is a major red flag, absolutely. The green flag to that is resilience. Joseph had major resilience. He receives his life's plan and a dream from the Lord.
Yeah.
And he's just coming against like his his brothers, his parents, just like, what are you talking about? So the opposite of that is definitely just a red flag, complaining, like nothing's going my way, I don't have anything. Well, what do you have, and what
Yeah.
are you doing with it?
Yeah.
So,
Right. I mean, if someone is a complainer, eventually you have to assume they're going to complain about you, right? Like their heart is already set to
Yeah.
complain. And I know it's easy. I've been married for a long time. And if either my wife or I were complainers, it would be easy for us to eventually turn on each other. It's not like you have an off switch when it comes to complaining. I hate everything. I hate it. I love you. I hate everything. I hate you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I would say complaining is
a major red flag.
yeah.
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 I have a question for you. So.
Whoa, this is not the Tiffany and Abide interview process, but sure.
I know.
All right, we'll allow it.
I would say in not all churches, absolutely not, but I guess like as marriages progress, it is easy to like slightly complain about your spouse, or like they do this or they do that, and honor is such a big value in my heart, and some things I'm not going to say in public. What has kept your heart from not complaining about your spouse, family, whatever?
Sure. The one, if you see your spouse as a gift from the Lord, right? I mean, an old adage is don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like if you truly believe that your spouse is a gift, then the Lord knew all of the shortcomings of the spouse. He knew all of the growth that the spouse was going to have to go through. He knew all of those things. So what would complaining do? Essentially, you're complaining against what God has given you. And when I look at it that way, it's easy for me to not complain about my wife.
I see.
Does that mean my wife is perfect just because I don't put things out? No, I think just like I know my own shortcomings, my prayer is that my wife won't be deceived and that she'll see her shortcomings and she'll bring those to the Lord. And she does, right? And normally my wife will pray for me. Like if there's anything that is an irritant or an obstacle, she'll pray for it. And the Lord just works on me in a way that only the Lord can do.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, I think when you look at things from the long term, the little things just fall away.
That's good.
So I would say if something's worth complaining about at the beginning, don't anticipate it getting better. So if you're like, oh, this guy doesn't work, I'm going to complain about that. What makes you think as soon as you get better or get married, he's going to all of a sudden have ambition to get a job, right?
Makes sense.
And so I married my wife for the woman that she was, not the woman that I anticipated her being. And so that limits what I'm complaining about. Like, does that make sense? Like I wanted the woman that she was. I'm blessed by the woman that she's grown into. And that's been, what a journey it's been awesome. But if you've got something to complain about at the beginning when you're dating, probably worth just passing on. Now, like when I was in the Army, I'm a messy desk person. My desk is just a mess. And my wife loves things tidy and neat and all of those things. It's a struggle for me to keep things organized. I'm not like maliciously sloppy. It's not like I've got Cheetos everywhere. It's I've got books and papers and items and it looks like a wizard's desk or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, where's my, and I'd find my hat and I put it on and but then I deployed and my wife, she cleaned up my desk the first day that I was gone or the second day or something like that. And it got to the place the longer I was gone, the more she missed the messiness of the desk because it meant that the cleanliness meant that I was gone.
Right.
And she's like, I would rather have a messy desk and my husband there
Wow.
than an orderly desk and him gone.
Wow.
And so it kind of puts in perspective the things that we complain about, right?
Wow.
And I would say that doesn't mean we haven't been tempted to complain, but whenever I feel, and sometimes it's an attack of the enemy, a desire to complain, I immediately counter it with gratitude. And so let's say that example that probably doesn't even mean anything really, but let's say that I wanted dinner when I got home and it wasn't ready, you know? And I could be tempted to say, why don't I have a wife that the meal is ready for me, right? And instead, I'm like, God, thank you that my wife has been industrious all day long, that she's had the desire to take care of our children, that she has been meaningfully engaged in their education. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? I start thanking the Lord for, God, thank you for the meals that she has cooked. Thank you for the opportunities that we've had to do this. I thank you that she has a desire for this.
Yeah, that's good.
And most of the time I find out that the reason dinner isn't ready is because I'm unpredictable. You know, I'm like, well, she doesn't know if I'm going to be home at 5 or at 7. So it's hard for her. But you know, one of the things that is probably more realistic is I would come home from work in the Army or wherever, and our house just wasn't perfectly tidy. It wasn't ever dirty, but we've got kids, right? And it would be easy for me to complain, why isn't my house spick and span, right? Now, for me, it's, Lord, thank you for the kids that you've given me that make this house lived in. Thank you that my wife has been so engaged with them that they're loved and that they're smiling. And when I come home, sure, toys are out, but I hear laughter.
Wow.
Thank you for that. And it just counters what the enemy's trying to do. And so I think over time, the enemy has learned, like, if you poke me with complaining, gratitude's going to come out.
Amen.
And I know that's kind of a tangent off of that question, but
They're receiving.
yeah. So sometimes there's nothing to complain about and somebody just has a complaining heart, which is what we were talking about with an individual. Like if they've got a complaining heart, then that's something that's definitely worth red flagging, saying,
absolutely.
like, if you are such a complainer, you'll never be grateful for me or the life that we build.
Right.
So
really good. Really
what
good.
else you got for a red flag?
Red flag, another one I have, I would say just not cultivating like the skills God's put in you, like the giftings that he's put in you. I feel like he's put like a specific bent in everyone where it's just easy and natural for someone to do something. And man, what an honor that we get to like develop that and honor the Lord with just developing those gifts. Not doing that is a major red flag, and just what is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not it.
Is that, would you call that laziness or lack of ambition, or maybe not stewarding what God has given you? How would you term that?
I would say like laziness and lack of stewardship for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's interesting because the guys that we deal with, they would never term themselves as lazy or a lack of ambition. Like they're getting their purpose in video games, or they're getting their purpose in
Other things.
just other things, right? And so they're like, oh no, I'm ambitious.
Yeah.
Well, look at how I've unlocked the last 5 levels of this
Game.
and I crushed it, you know? And they're getting all of the ambition that the Lord has put in them. They're getting it satisfied in a way that doesn't actually push them forward in life. What about you? A guy spends 4 to 6 hours on video games. What's the term that they use? Like, no, maybe it's not the right term. What do they say? Smash or pass? Is that the wrong term? Like, is that, I don't know. Is that like more of a sexual term? Like, I don't know. This is why they don't let me on public TV.
It's okay.
Right? Or
this is why we need you on public TV.
we're gonna get this turned off. Like, so
That's
sorry
okay.
about that.
I don't even know the term actually.
Yeah.
But I would encourage them.
Swipe, what is it? Swipe left or swipe right? Like, would you swipe on that one?
I would not. I would not continue it in a relationship with them, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But I would just want to encourage them, like, what goal, like, what are you trying to achieve?
Yeah.
And I would honestly encourage them and like tell them, what if you took this time and just invested that time every day in whatever that thing God has put in your heart? Where would you be in 6 months, a year?
Yeah.
And just be an encouragement to them, like, what would your life look like?
Like a dating encouragement, or
First as a friend, if it's
Okay,
like a
sure.
friendship, but it's like, what do they really want? Do they really want that new trophy or the new Mario Kart unlocked?
Yeah.
Or do they
Right.
really, really want to see like their life as the Lord has shown them it to be?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think they would pick this one.
I would think so.
Yeah. So
And I think one of the things that the Abide Project does is it shows them what happens when they can dedicate 30, 60, 90 days to their growth and what it feels like to work out consistently, pursue God consistently, be in community, and unlock those new skills in real life.
Right, yeah.
Like, oh, now you know how to climb. Now you know how to shoot. Now you know how to do combatives and defend yourself. Now you know how to study the word and memorize it. Like, and all of a sudden they get meaning in a deeper way.
yeah.
And that's the allure of easy satisfaction, whether it's pornography or video games or anything else, is always there. It's like, this is an easily achievable thing that if I fail at, there's no real failure. I just reset, you know, and that's it's a lie from the enemy that, and that kind of satisfaction can come without risk. So, no, I'm with you. Now, you know, going back to one of the things that you said, well, as a friend, and this is a question.
Okay.
Can guys and girls have that level of friendship? Like, what level of friendship can guys have? And when you start dating, do you cut off all other friendships? It's like a 4-part question. I'll let you deal with it.
Okay, so question 1. Can a woman and a man have a level of friendship where like they can have that kind of honesty?
Yeah.
That's such a good question. I can't even think of the answer right now.
What's your gut say? What do you think? Or will one always be looking at the other in a way that's more romantically inclined?
I think it's just like biology, of course, because it's like opposites, male and woman. But I can only speak for myself.
Sure.
I will see.
We aren't going to let you be the representative for the entire human race. Feel free. You're okay.
Yeah, I can only speak for myself, but I feel commanded by the word that I'm to see every male as my brother until the Lord says this is your spouse. So there's some things I wouldn't tell my brother because it's not appropriate from a woman's mouth.
Yeah.
That's such a hard question. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time answering it, but I'm probably going to say one answer and then 6 months later I'm going to be like, I grew.
Yeah. But, all right, let's say that 6 months later you're in a dating relationship or you're in a seriously moving forward relationship. Would you feel uncomfortable if the person that you're dating still had female relationships, female friendships?
I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that only because it's, if you're pursuing me and then they could get weird.
Sure.
Like having those people, like those women around could get really weird.
Yeah.
Of course, like in a workplace, it's different and you have to have like a level of professionalism. Yeah. I don't know if any of that made sense.
No, it does. Like, I assume you wouldn't want whatever, I don't even know, that significant other calling up Betty and saying, hey, Betty, I've been talking with Tiffany. I really like her. Give me, like, I want to just chat with you about my relationship with her. Yeah. It's probably not what you...
No, I would hope he has men in his life to do that with.
So let me ask that. Is that a red flag for you if a man only has women relationships?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, why? Is that like, why? My question is just why. And I feel like if I can get the answer to that, then I just kind of know you. Like, are they there because they give you your identity?
Yeah.
Are they there because they validate you or they make you feel good? Like, why?
Yeah. I know, like, I grew up a lot more comfortable around women than around men. But a lot of that was just my own insecurity and the fact that I derived a lot of validation from women, right? Which was an unhealthy place to be. You know, even in the gym, they say that men work out for different reasons. The first reason, or like a progression, they say the first progression is men work out for women.
Oh.
Like they want to look good for women. And then the second progression is they like whatever women, I want other men to validate me, you know? And then the final form, the final validation is they work out because they want to be fit. And they finally get to that place. You know, and so like I could go to the gym and you could tell the guys that are still working out for validation from other women.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's the other guys that you could tell are working out because they want validation from other men. You know, and then there's the last one where you're like, this dude is just locked in and he's working out, he's there, he's gonna get what he's trying to get done and he's out of there. Well, you know, I love how long this will run, and guys will continue to go through it. I don't want to end it short because I think you've got a lot of insight to add here, and I want guys to be as prepared as possible when they encounter a young woman like you. Like they can start doing these things right now to eliminate red flags. These aren't impossible red flags to overcome, right? Like, hey, I don't care if you're, you know, 5'6" or 6'5". It doesn't matter from that standpoint. Like maybe you do. Like there's personal preference. But what I'm saying is like the things that they can change are you could pursue God. You can have a heart that's grateful and resilient and not complaining. You can start unlocking the gifts and the talents that God has given you by pursuing ambition in the real life, in real life. And so those are all things that these guys can start doing now.
Right.
And part of the reason that the Abide Project exists is to help drag men along in that time frame. So, you know, I feel like there's one more red flag out there that let's give. I think we've got 3 solid ones. Let's give one more red flag. Red flag number 4. What's it going to be?
Red flag number 4. I need a good one, Lord. Give me one. Give me a good red flag, Holy Spirit. This may take a second.
Yeah. Oh, I'd say we're gonna go for number 5. I'm gonna say number 4 was exclusively female relationships or predominantly female relationships in a man's life. Like that should be, if a guy is insecure around other guys, it's gonna be a red flag for me. I mean, not that I would have dated them to begin with, but like for my daughters, I would say, look, if this guy can't be comfortable around other guys, it's going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
So now we're on number 5.
Number 5. I don't know why, but like brotherhood came into my head, like just not having that, and like good friendships that can iron you, like iron sharpens iron, and just having a good friend who can sharpen you, sharpen your countenance, everything. That is what God wants for you. So not having that, it's a red flag.
Sure.
'Cause it's for your good. So
yeah. So have that community. The scripture says that in a multitude of counselors, there's safety, right? And like you said, iron sharpens iron. And it's like, well, if you don't have another piece of iron sharpening you, then
what is? Yeah.
And what are you going to be, are you ever going to be sharpened? Because it's not your job. Can you imagine if your job was to sharpen the husband that you have? It would just be, he would consider you a nag after a while, right?
Yeah.
Whereas guys can be like, hey dude, what are you doing with your life? So no, I would think that if a guy doesn't have meaningful relationships with men, I'm not getting you off the hook that easy. That's going back to number 4, right? We can't have only meaningful relationships with girls and not meaningful relationships with guys as 2 different ones. I'm not letting you off the hook.
I have a list.
Yeah, so let's pull up the list and see what you've got.
Okay.
Can I throw this out there while you go through your list?
Yeah.
This is a huge red flag for me. when I see young guys. And I'm like,
Define young, like what age?
18 to 25.
Okay.
If they don't want to have children, it's a red flag for me. Because
Go
I
into
want
that.
to, I want to know why. Like, it's the purpose of marriage,
Right.
right? Marriage has a purpose, and it's not just to fulfill your own sexual desires. Marriage has a purpose to procreate, to build intimacy as a reflection of God. Like, marriage has purpose.
Right.
And if you want to deny that purpose, all you're telling me is you just want
A legal
way
Wait,
to be intimate with
Right,
somebody,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
where you don't feel guilty.
Yes.
And if a guy's not willing to delve into that and say, hey, here's the reason why I do want to have
Yeah.
kids, but I want to make sure I've got my finances in place. I want to make sure that my wife and I are on the same page. I want to make sure, like, those are different. Like, if they're saying, I want to have kids, I just don't want to have them yet, I can deal with that. But if they're like, I'm never going to have kids, that to
Wow.
me is saying there's something wrong with, one, how you see the family, two, how you see yourself as a man and your purpose, and three, what you see as the purpose of marriage. So like
So good.
if any, and I'm tell any girl that's out there, if you're dating a guy that says I never want to have kids, I'd say run away. That's a dude that has issues. I would say the same thing with a woman too. Like if a woman doesn't want to have children, I would say walk away. That person has healing that has to happen
Yeah.
in their heart.
Wow.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
That's really good. See, you're saying these things that I feel like is just common sense, but like when you say them out loud, I'm like, well, duh, of
Yeah.
course. Of course, marriage, you want to build a family, you want to build legacy, but
Yeah.
duh. No,
Yeah.
that's really good.
So
I
if you
agree.
were dating a guy and he's like, hey, just so you know up front, I never want to have kids.
Okay, it's so nice. It was so nice getting to meet you. Man, I really hope you have a great day tomorrow.
Yeah. Right?
That's it.
But I've seen people that date that in the end they're like, man, I like this guy and everything about him, but he doesn't want to have kids. I bet I could convince him somewhere later down the road. And they're 10 years into this.
Yeah.
And she knows her clock is ticking and he's not coming along. He's just saving money and saving money and saving money.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is at some point, this guy is going to click and he's going to be like, I'm 45. I want to start having kids. Oh, this woman that I've dragged along, she's too old to have kids now.
Right, yeah.
I need to upgrade. I need to swap. And that's a terrible place to be.
It's just, it could cause heartache for her, and just, again, you didn't have clear intentions at the beginning, so
Yeah.
it harmed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're robbing a woman of one of the most fulfilling parts
Right.
of her calling,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is to be a mother.
Right.
And anyway, is that fair as a red flag?
No, that's definitely a good red flag.
What else you got? We'll give him 6. Let's give him one more.
I feel like for a red flag in a man is you wanting to be pursued, like you want to be chased, you want to be pursued instead of you pursuing. Like women have to chase you, like show you that we're interested. I don't like that's not a good red flag, because then when does that end? And is that going to be the entire relationship of
Sure.
just that?
So red flag, the man won't pursue.
Right.
Yeah. Green flag, obviously, he's pursuing you.
Yeah.
Right?
So
And back to a point earlier, I think that there are things that have, whether it's Me Too movement stuff or whether it's pornography or whether it's a lack of ambition that puts them in a place to where I don't need to pursue. And it's dangerous to pursue.
Yeah.
So guys have to overcome that and say, it's worth the risk.
Yeah.
And for me, part of that is with my wife. She's beautiful, she's fantastic, and I knew it was a risk of rejection for me to pursue her. But that's part of where the reward is as well, right? Is in all vulnerability, all chasing has the opportunity for failure. But that's the beauty of pursuing too.
Yeah.
And I know, like, after 25 years, my wife still wants to be pursued.
Amen.
And if I hadn't set the tone for that at the outset, like, can you imagine how frustrating it would be for her to not be pursued over 25 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree.
Amen.
Men need to pursue in, like, a decent way,
Yeah.
not like stalkerish, and not crazy, but like being able to. Let's give them a clue here. What does healthy pursuit look like to you? And when does it cross the line from? No, we're gonna save that. Part 2. Maybe we'll bring on a guest as well. We'll bring on somebody else so that there's 2 and you guys can riff back and forth. But like pursuing, or digging into, what does healthy pursuit look like versus when is it too much or when is it too little? What does that look like?
Yeah,
and we'll
absolutely.
go from there.
It becomes too much to where...
No.
Oh, wait, I'm going...
No, you got to hold it for next time. Write it down. Go back to your list.
Okay, so...
They got to show back up. Nope.
Okay, so I'm not going to answer?
No, you're not going to answer right now.
All right.
Save it for next time. Any parting thoughts, not about pursuing, for the guys as they're watching?
Yes.
Or for ladies even.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say it for the men. Just for the men who are watching this and just taking the time to invest in themselves by watching content like this is not going to waste at all. And something like this, like the Abide Project, and getting plugged into the content, like the resources that's provided free for you, take advantage of it because you won't recognize yourself in 6 months. You won't recognize yourself in your relationship with the Lord because it'll be deepened. And God wants you to realize the man that he has specifically designed you to be. So this has been a great conversation, and just thank you, Michael, for letting me do this.
No, what a privilege. And look, you're not just hearing it from some dude that's trying to tell you what's going on. You're hearing it from the lips of a woman that you would love to date. What red flags are there? How to start being the man that is dateable, that's marryable. That's part of what the Abide Project is. But more than that, it's what the Lord's heart for you is. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Be blessed, and we will see you again. Have a great one.
Thanks.